think as a woman, you already know what you're getting into. So
Yeah,
if it happens to you, you can't then turn around and be like, "Oh my gosh, look at me, poor me, I got cheated on." It's like you knew what you was getting before you started.
but men also lie, and a lot of them can lie well.
Yeah,
Do you know
no,
what
no,
I
no.
mean?
It's not about that. But it's about choice. Like I'm saying, and I'm so glad, and I'll say it one more time, just in case anyone just joined. You said you would not date those sorts of guys.
No, I wouldn't.
Exactly, because you're saying to no, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah, because
But
I
you
because I,
know,
because I know
but
that's the, but for me
and
that's something that I know is a deal breaker.
okay, but
Cheating.
also for you, I'm sure you know there's certain women out there that will say, listen, men cheat anyway, so I'd rather date a guy who's gonna take care of me. There's
Yeah, and I
some
get that, and I don't judge them
no, I
women.
know, but I'm just saying I respect women more like that because at least they're not giving off that false pretense that they wasn't aware that this guy that they're dating could. I'm not saying that they should, but could cheat on them. And it
I
seems
don't,
like
I
this
don't think
woman.
this. I don't think necessarily that's a false pretense though, because like I said, like I could, even though I'm saying, oh, I'd never date a rapper or footballer. If I've met someone and they've managed to really convince me and blah blah blah, rare rare rare, and ease all of my kind of worries, I'm not like those other guys, blah blah. I managed to be, I don't even want to say manipulated, but if I believe someone or whatever that's who they are, and I get into that relationship, I don't think that necessarily, like, that's why I use the word naive. Yeah, you could probably say you're a bit naive, but that doesn't make you like a person who doesn't deserve respect because you've maybe taken a chance on someone. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I also get what you're saying in the sense of there's some women who know damn well what they're getting involved in. Like, why are you crying later? Like, this man has showed you who he is. And I'm not disagreeing with that. But I don't think that's always the case.
Okay, anyone got some kickback on that?
I mean, I think sometimes, like, because I understand where both of you are coming from, but it's like for you to be picked in a sense, like for you to be the partner, there's going to be some expectations that come with that naturally, e.g., you're not going to cheat on me because obviously you've decided to settle down with me. Do you get it? If it's a situation where you're just dating this person and they're cheating, like we see all the time, and girls are posting, yeah, we're talking to the same guy, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. But if he's actually picked you to like take it the step further and give you the title of a girlfriend, I don't think you, in your mind, you're still expecting him to cheat because it's like you've actually taken it to this level.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like I hear where both of you are coming from, but I don't think women expect it. Even women that are dating these high value men that are earning so much money, or these rappers and athletes, in the back of their mind, because they're the girlfriend, I don't think they still expect to be cheated on. Do you get what I mean?
So all right. So you see, like, all right. So I'll put it another hand. You see, like, like these multi-millionaires,
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
multi-billionaires. Do you know the girls that they get cheat on them as well?
Yeah, of course.
And and
Probably.
and the men know it too.
Yeah,
And
but a lot of people cheat.
it's not like they're okay with it, but they understood what they were buying into. And I'm sorry to say, it's kind of like when it's the young girls, we classify them the baddies, right? The Instagram chicks. You know what I'm talking about, that type of woman. When they get a bit older, it's the women that have had loads of surgery, they've got the implants, and I'm saying that's from the other culture. Everyone knows what they kind of look like. And even with footballers, athletes, and also celebrities, most of the time the people that they're with cheat on them as well
Mm.
because they're away from them for such a long period of time, traveling and this and what. The women get bored at home.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
but
saying to you. So it's kind of like that's why you even find that certain footballers or certain celebrities, it's kind of like as long as it's not brought to the surface, they kind of just go about their day. They try not to think about it. There's like thousands of women that have cheated on successful men over the years, and most of the times the guys don't find out until it's too late.
But
You
this is
see-
what I'm saying. When we're having conversations about cheating, it really does always come down to individuals, and it comes down to individual self-respect, because we can tie it to high value, being in different spaces, all these other things. We can talk about all these other things, which I can understand can change the likelihood of certain events happening or whatever. However, it still comes down to a person's choice. And even people who, if we looked at statistics for average people, not even people making loads of money who cheat, there's a lot of infidelity within partners. A lot of people, some people could even argue that men are not designed to only have one partner, or the way they're hormone. There's a lot of things, self control, different things that affect people's decision making, blah blah blah. I don't think It's just looking at it through the lens of, you know, you make more money, so there's a direct like link to you making more money and you the cheating aspect. I don't think that we're ignoring we're ignoring other factors. Do you get what
Okay, all right. All right. So two things. One thing I'll say to you, right? To me, a guy who's not desired by other women that doesn't cheat is not the same as a guy who's desired by a lot of women that don't cheat. It's not the same thing.
Why is it not the same?
Because if a lot of women are not throwing it at you, for you not to cheat is easy because you don't have access to them. You don't have access to them, right? Whereas if a man has access to an abundance of women and he's actively like women are literally throwing panties at him every single day and he's like ducking and he's like, nah, I got a girl, I'm in love, I've got kids, I'm not throwing this away. To me, that's a man who's not cheating. Because I'm sorry to say
they're
this.
both not cheating though.
No. Because someone who doesn't have access to it, no one wants to sleep with them.
Most people have access to cheating.
Not most.
Hold on, I understand what you're saying in terms of likelihood and who's exercising more like fighting against temptation or whatever, right?
Restraint.
But I've seen gargoyles off the street cheat. You know what I mean? I've seen
seen
men
what?
who are homeless, gargoyles off the street, men who are not all the ticket. I've seen men who don't even have a pot to piss in who are cheating on
No. You're missing. No. You're missing the comparison that I was making. All I was just saying is that a person who doesn't have access to abundance of people or women, right? That sort of man, I don't classify that as a man who's not cheating. To me, I classify a man who has access to it and then actively is saying no. I don't want it.
That's based on your view on access and all this sort of stuff.
No, not really. We all know.
I mean, there's studies that show that men, because when I was having a conversation, also more on the topic of men who earn less, etc. But there are studies that show that men who earn less than their significant other, they tend to cheat more. So money and access is nothing. If someone wants to cheat, they will find a way to cheat. And I think sometimes we mistake because high value men have more access. Fair enough, like they have access to everything. But guys who don't have enough money, they still have equal access to women. They may not be the baddest and the baddest of baddies, but they will still get women. Like there's still women out here that aren't the best looking and they can still find a man that to cheat on with. Do you know what I mean? So I think you need to think about that as well.
Yeah, no. But when I was talking about access, I wasn't even talking about the money side of it. I was just saying in terms of men who women don't desire them, whatever it may be. So, if a man's not really desirable by a gang of women, for him to have access to cheat is very small.
Yeah, but then think about things like, for example, going to a brothel. That's if you have 2 pennies to rub together, or I'm sure you can pay for sex, right? So it goes back to when we talk about access. The access level is not the same, and the amount of times you're faced with the situation to resist temptation or whatever may be different, fairs. But you can't say one is not like faithful or one is not because they're not faced with the same situations. That's irrelevant.
But it actually is. It actually is. It's just like, all right, so I don't know why you guys are not understanding me.
No, I understand.
It's the equivalent, right? It's just the equivalent of a woman, right? And I'm just gonna no shots by anyone who's listening, right? But there's women out there who are highly desired by men, right? And I mean, like, let's just say every woman knows there's a girl that whenever they're out, they've got a bagger man always coming up to them, always blah, 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 right? And they have the choice whether or not to say yay or nay, right? And most of the time, you won't hear those sorts of women coming online and saying, listen, I'm only looking for a high value man. I need this and that and this and that. If the guy's not doing this, I'm not doing that, right? Sometimes, right? But then you will see, and I'm sure some of you will understand this. Sometimes you will see a very below average woman online saying the same thing and saying, I'm single because I need a man who's going to do this, this, and that. And even though you might not admit it, you as a woman will look at her and be like, come on, sis. Come on, sis. You ain't got access to that. So just stop it. Like, you're gonna be single for a very long time because
this is the problem. This is the problem with our concept of desire and what people deserve and putting people in a box of what we feel like they should have access to. Because some of these same women that people will be telling you're not good enough for this, or you keep dreaming, blah blah blah, are very much living better lives than their good looking counterparts. I'm not saying it's the norm,
No,
but
but that's not the point. I'm sorry, but you're going off. That's not the point of what I'm trying to say. The point I'm trying to say is exactly that there's certain people that have access to a larger group of people that find them desirable. Those are the people that can pick and choose. The people who are not desired by a multitude or a large sample size, for them, they don't have that access. Therefore, it's quote unquote easier for them not to cheat.
Okay, you can say it's easier for them not to cheat. That's fair enough. But the actual statement that you made in the beginning was that a man who has the access, or in your opinion, or a man who doesn't have the access or doesn't have as many women desire, they're not the same in the sense of you don't. They're not the same in terms of not cheating because one doesn't have the same access. But if you're not cheating, then you're not cheating regardless. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. I think we can agree to disagree because I think
Yeah, I think we just
we
don't
can agree
necessarily
to
agree on
disagree.
this point.
But for me, and most men know this. If you speak to most men, they will tell you this. You ask a random person if there's a difference between the two, and I'll tell you, most men will tell you that a guy who doesn't have option that doesn't cheat is not the same as a guy who has loads of options that doesn't cheat. It's
Yeah,
not the
one
same
is
thing.
exercising more restraint because they're faced with more situations.
They've got
Yes.
access to it. Women
Yeah,
desire them.
I'm not really debate. That's not really more what I'm debating. Is certain things that you're saying in terms of, oh, but you have a lot of more women that are, like, desire you. Like, it's the way you use certain words in the context of like desire and stuff like that. Who's desirable? Because the things that you're linking to be desirable, there's people who don't necessarily meet that. Um, you
No,
know,
but I didn't. Even when I say desire, but I made sure that I said it has got nothing to do with money. I'm just saying if women desire you, so it does. Just because you don't have money doesn't mean women don't desire you. Like women can desire you off of status, can desire looks. Even women can desire you off your height or your build or whatever. You know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily mean that. The only point I was just trying to make is, and I'll say it one more time, is simple. If women don't desire you and you don't cheat, it's not the same as a man who's desired by many women. It's not the
okay,
same.
let me ask you a question, yeah. So you meet there's two different women in this example, right? One is a beautiful woman that obviously is used to getting a lot of attention. Like you meet two girls. One is extremely beautiful, and one isn't necessarily the most good. Like she's okay in the face, but the face card isn't that great, right? Out of those two women, who would you be more worried about them cheating on you?
Oh,
When you ask that question.
me personally, I don't worry about women cheating.
No, 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 no. Answer the question because I'm doing this based off the example that you gave when you said if there's a woman in the strip club and you know that all the men in there want her from the strip club, would you be worried about her cheating? So I'm asking you.
All right,
I've given
okay.
you.
Let me say it like this. I don't date women who never like to stay in the house. I don't date women like that. I don't. For me, it's a bit of for me, it's a red flag if a woman can't stay in her yard. I
You're
mean,
not
like,
answering my question though. You're
no,
going
I
off
know,
of it.
because your question it doesn't really work for me. But I'm just saying to you, for me,
Well, that doesn't work for you.
no, it doesn't. But for me, a red flag for me when it comes to women is a woman who doesn't like to either spend time by herself or has to always be out. Has to always be
I'm
out doing
sorry,
things.
but you're. I'm sorry, but that's not why I asked. You're looking for a cop out from what I asked because
No,
you
I'm not.
knew
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm
you
not.
knew the line of
No, it's not.
questioning that I
It's
was going
not.
to go down.
It was just. It wasn't a good question. That's all.
Why is it not a good question?
It just wasn't a good question
Why?
because it just wasn't a good question.
No, but you should be. This is the thing. You should be able to. I can
What?
explain why I have a
So answer
certain
the
view.
question.
All right,
It
can you hear
wasn't a
what you're
good.
doing? But
It wasn't. It wasn't a good question.
no, but
There's
the
no.
point I was
There's no. Look. Look.
okay.
Look.
Yeah,
Let
Look.
but
me
you
Look.
still answer. You have to answer it. You have to
No, I
answer it.
exactly
don't. Listen,
so I can complete my line of
Wait,
reasoning.
Belly, unmute yourself because if you want to start jumping in and taking side, you can't go on mute as well just because you want some.
Nah,
You
that's
just want
funny.
some
Answer the
joke.
question.
For me, the way I see it is, when it comes to cheating, even when it comes to a woman, a man can't control whether or not a woman's going to cheat or not. Right? If a if a woman's going to cheat on you, she's going to do it anyway. Right? So regardless whether this woman is attractive or not attractive, it depends whether she wants to cheat on you. So that's why for me, that question, I can't answer because I know that when it comes to cheating, there's so much more to it than just
You're
how
saying things
someone's
that
looks.
don't align with what you've been saying earlier today, though. This is my thing.
I said women.
Your
No, no,
argument
no,
is
no.
not
You asked me
consistent.
about women. Hold on, stop it. You asked me about women.